Jordan Kyrou gets his first hat trick on home ice in his career with a 5-2 win over the New York Rangers. I'm going to talk about this game and all that went down coming up here on Locked on Blues.
You're Locked on Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to Locked on Blues. I am your host of Locked on Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to all things about our St. Louis Blues. And welcome to the Postgame show here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. The St. Louis Blues just had a 5-2 victory over the New York Rangers, who were the first in the Metropolitan Division. Huge win for the Blues. Hat trick tonight for Jordan Kyrou, by the way, and an outstanding performance. Also, that power play unit looks absolutely solid. And that is because of something that was done before the game. Before I dive deeper into what went on in today's game, I want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by Jase Medical. Empower yourself when you purchase a Jase case, providing you with personal supply of 5 antibiotics that treat 50 plus infections. Get yours today at jasemedical.com and use code LOCKED ON to get your $20 off. That's JASE medical.com. Huge win tonight for our Blues. I have to tell you, I went into this game and I know that the Blues have a tendency of defeating the Rangers on home ice, but a part of me was a little bit hesitant due to the fact that the Blues did have that tough loss against the Panthers. And it's a little bit funny now that I think about it because Matthew Tkachuk got a hat trick the other night against us. And now we said, you know what? Nope, we're going to do a Hattie in our own eyes tonight, which was done by Jordan Kyrou. But overall, I was a little bit nervous going into tonight's game. Adam Fox, who was on the Rangers, is probably one of their best players. And that made me a little bit nervous. Also, you're going against Coach Peter Laviolette, who's been in the league for quite a while, knows what he's doing. And again, when the Rangers are the number one team in the Metropolitan, of course, you're going to hold your breath just a little bit. But the Blues have now won 4 games at home against the Rangers. And they really play tough tonight. I'm going to break down everything that went into the game, and then I'm going to dive into some of the more little nitty-gritty things, I guess you can say, when it comes to players specifically and all that. But the number one thing about this game and the reason why I was a bit nervous was within the first couple minutes. So immediately after puck drop, um, I believe it was Robert Thomas. He almost had a nice little shot attempt on net, but unfortunately that was denied. And then about 2 minutes in, Adam Fox was able to score for the Rangers and gave them a 1-0 lead. Now, this is the story of called Jordan Kyrou owns the Rangers because only a few minutes after Fox's goal, Kyrou was able to score, equalizing the game. It was a beautiful goal assisted by Robert Thomas and Pavel Buchnevich. And I have to say, it was a beautiful setup, but what was even more beautiful, a couple minutes later in the first period, the Blues were on their power play, and it's 32nd in the NHL, so it's the worst power play in the league. But prior to going into the game, head coach of the Blues, Drew Bannister, said that he changed up the power play unit, changed up positioning, and was hoping that would accumulate some success, and it sure did. Kyrou scored on it again. It was assisted by Bush and Thomas. Now the Blues left the first 20 minutes with a 2-1 lead. Usually the Blues do not take the lead when they trail. And this is another fun fact. This is the first time the Blues scored on the power play where it actually gave them the lead. So it was a really cool statistic that was said about our boys in blue. So second period, Braden Saad was able to score on the power play. Yes, that is right. This was the second power play unit tonight, and it was assisted by Captain Shen and Torrey Krug. And now the Blues have a 3-1 lead. We go into that final frame, and guess what? Jordan Kyrou gets his hat trick. That is right. It took him 3 periods, but he finally got it done. And he was able to get his first hat trick at Enterprise. and his third career hat trick. So it was a really exciting moment to watch for him. If I was there, I would have thrown a hat, and that was assisted by Nick Leddy. Nick Leddy also really saved Kyrou on that play. He had a really nice defensive play, which prevented any of the Rangers players from getting to him. So that obviously was very important to the Blues' success tonight. Unfortunately, the Rangers do score. They were on their power play. Tomer got sent to the box, and it was kind of inevitable. I believe the Rangers have the best power play unit in the NHL. So the Blues, they're ranked 6th on the penalty kill, but obviously when you're going against the number 1 power play unit, it's a little bit challenging. And they were able to get their second goal of the game. And then literally this happened like not even 5 minutes ago, but Bouge was able to get an empty netter. He wasn't happy about it though. I'm not gonna lie. I was genuinely kind of confused. He snapped his stick in half. Yeah, that was a little awkward, but overall, the Blues then win 5-2. By the way, on Bouche's empty netter was assisted by Oscar and Pareko. So a good 5-2 victory over the New York Rangers. This was a big game for St. Louis, especially after coming off of that loss against the Panthers. You really expected them to step up a little bit, play more aggressively, and tweak some of the things like that power play unit. I was happy that Banny did that, but he also said that he wasn't really that satisfied with the Blues' 5-on-5 play, especially in the first period. And it was interesting because I do understand what he meant. It was a little bit sloppy. It wasn't as clean as it could have been. But at the same time, I think the guys adjusted in that second period, and I couldn't imagine him being upset about that performance. I think the defense really showed up tonight as well. I saw a lot of positives on D tonight, especially as I mentioned, Nick Leddy. He played aggressively. Torrey Krug has somebody that doesn't get enough credit. I love Torrey Krug. What can I say? I think that he's a big body. And when he plays hard, you see good results on the ice. So I was happy for Torrey Krug as well. The thing about St. Louis in this game tonight was that, well, the Rangers had 43 shots and only 2 went in. So Binnington, who was in net, saved 41 out of 43, and that is an absolute gem of a game for Binner. And I don't think he's being talked about enough because right now, I mean, obviously it was the Jordan Kyrou show, but also at the same time, Binnington really stepped up, made some crucial, crucial saves. I mean, you're going against the New York Rangers. They score a lot, let me tell you. So I think that Binner's performance was probably worthy enough for you to vote for him to go into the All-Star game. I did that a couple times, I think, for Kyrou and Krug, but Binnington is also one of the guys that really helped the Blues get this victory tonight. It was a team effort, I will say that. I'm just really surprised that they were able to accumulate 2 goals on that power play. How do you feel about the game tonight? I want to ask you, I am live on YouTube, and if you're listening to this, if this is after the video has ended with the live post-game show here on YouTube, I want you to tell me what you thought about tonight's game. Were you surprised at all that the Blues were this dominant? While they are usually very dominant when they go against the New York Rangers, I was a little taken back by just how dominant they actually were and what they were able to do. I think at the end of the day, this team, you're not going to really know how they're going to play game to game. They're a team that's a little bit more unpredictable, a team that you may not always know. And I think that at the end of the day, the bottom line is this, is that they defeated the New York Rangers tonight, made a huge statement with that hat trick, especially Kyrou, and he is somebody that I think that doesn't get enough credit. But I want to know what you think. Somebody just messaged me and said, "Are you actually going to get a Torrey Krug jersey?" Maybe. I think the next jersey I'm going to get will be Robert Thomas, as it's always RT season. But I was impressed with Krug's defense tonight. So maybe Tori, maybe I'll do that for you. But anyways, I do want to let you know about my friends over at Jase Medical. I know we come to sports to escape from some of the crazy realities of life, but can we just talk for a minute about preparing for real life? According to the FDA, pharmacies are running out of antibiotics like amoxicillin, right in the middle of the worst flu season in over a decade. This is scary. I can't imagine a more helpless feeling than my mom right now, who actually has a cold, because I want my mom to be healthy, obviously. And what if my mom couldn't get the life saving medication that she needed because of the supply chain issue? Thankfully, we'll be okay because of Jase Medical. The Jase case is a pack of 5 different antibiotics to treat a long list of bacterial illnesses, including UTIs, respiratory infections, sinuses, skin infections, among others. This stuff could really happen to any of us. So visit jasemedical.com and complete your physician encounter. It will be reviewed by a board certified physician, and your medications will be dispensed by a licensed pharmacy at a fraction of the regular price. So it's never been more important to be prepared than today. Go to jasemedical.com and use offer code locked on to get your $20 off. The hat trick, the hattie, the Kyrou game. Jordan Kyrou absolutely owns the Rangers. I know I talked about this in my little bit of my game recap, but can we just talk for 1 second about how good Kyrou looks? I think that Jordan Kyrou is a player that got a lot of heat, and I understand Jordan Kyrou may not be, well, he's Jordan. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna say anything, but I understand why maybe he got some of the heat that he has gotten in the past. But I think that he's the type of player where he truly works hard. And I'm a big Jordan Kyrou fan. I've always liked Kyrou. And tonight he was able to really solidify himself. I mean, 9 goals this season, 18 assists. But it's the hat trick. It's the Hattie. Unbelievable for Jordan Kyrou, and especially on home ice after all that he's been through with all the drama and not performing as well. I mean, I know last season he was in his 30s with goals that he had, and to be able to be that dominant tonight against one of the best teams in the NHL, it does go a long way. I think that as a fan base, we can be very difficult, um, in a sense of we're gonna call out our players when they don't play well, but I think for Jordan Kyrou, he really needed this. So let me know why I felt nervous heading into this game. Well, I felt nervous heading into this game because the New York Rangers, as I mentioned, are one of the best teams in the NHL. And, they have Kreider, they have Adam Fox, they have all these players that are just really solid players. And I think that one thing that has been talked about enough is the fact that St. Louis didn't show any fear when playing the Rangers. The Rangers were able to get that first goal right away. Adam Fox did. But think about the Rangers right now. They're now on a 3-game losing streak after this game. Before heading in, they did lose to the Canucks a 6-3 loss. And then they lost to the Canadiens, which was then a 4-3 loss. So now they're coming off of having a losing streak before they take on the Capitals. We play the Capitals soon, by the way, in a couple weeks, or next week. It's next week already. So just something to be on the lookout for that. But the Rangers are kind of on a little bit of a downfall situation. So I think tonight was really just a big dig at them. But then I want to talk about our guys because I don't care about New York right now. Okay. I know we're going to see them in a few months, I believe in March. But right now, I want to talk about us, about the fact that we're 5th in the Central Division. 2 points are crucial. Let me tell you. Right now, we have 43 points. Okay. Winnipeg does have 60 points. So, oh, we're 17 points behind the first place team in our division. But then above us, we now have Nashville with 45. Then you have Dallas with 53, Colorado with 57, of course, Winnipeg with 60. Behind us, Arizona has 42, and then Minnesota has 38, and Chicago of 26. So I do think that there is a really good possibility that if the Blues keep on accumulating these points that realistically, I didn't think they were gonna be getting, because as I mentioned, this was their toughest stretch of games. They defeated the Canucks, They defeated the Canes. Now they defeated the Rangers. Obviously, that lost to the Panthers. It is what it is. But they have been playing much better hockey. They're going to be taking on the Boston Bruins on the 13th. So on Saturday. How do I feel about that? Well, not good because the Bruins are another team that are a very good team in the NHL, in the Atlantic division. They make me nervous. I don't like it whatsoever. They play a really tough game, and they're also the leaders in the Atlantic division with 56. So evidently, there's a really good chance that they could win, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, right now they're taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't necessarily what is the score in that one? It's 0-0 at the end of the first. But they've also lost their past 2 games. They lost to the Coyotes a 4-3 loss, and then they lost to the Avalanche 4-3 as well. So they're coming off of some losses, kind of just like the Rangers. So we'll see how they do. I'm hoping that they lose just because maybe that will do better for us in a way. But we'll focus on that tomorrow, talking more about that game coming up. But right now, the Blues, they definitely are looking good. I think that a win against the Rangers definitely says something. But when the Blues are beating these teams, these top teams in all these divisions, it kind of makes you question, is this a contending team for the playoffs? And I'm going to leave it at that because I want to tell you about my friends over at Sleeper. It's almost the halfway point of the season, Blues fans, and they've been kind of surprising me. Regardless of where we are in the standings, I want to remind you that you could win big by playing daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper, the official daily fantasy app of the Locked On NHL Network. Sleeper is our number one choice for daily fantasy sports and especially daily fantasy hockey. Because with Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contests. And this is where guys like Jordan Kyrou could get a hat trick. And it also helps you win money, okay? All you have to do is pick the guys, as I said, like a Jordan Kyrou, a Robert Thomas, a Pavel Buchnevich, so much more to record more or less in your sleeper projections for things like goals, assists, saves, plus minus, and more in a given game. To win 100 times, bet on Sleeper. You need to correctly predict the outcome of 8 player stats. You heard me, Blues fans. You can win 100 times your money playing daily fantasy hockey with Sleeper. So start paying attention and nailing your picks so you can be winning big. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL. See Sleeper's terms of use for details and locational availability. Okay. Let's talk right now about this power play. The Blues' power play is inevitably bad. Um, Tonight's a little different story, but I'm just going off of the fact that the Blues power play is really ranked the worst in the NHL. I was I was a little bit apprehensive, okay? I was going to tonight's game, and I'm like, "Ah, man, this just will be brutal for the power play," but they really did surprise me. Well, their power play percentage is now at a 10.62. Not good, but not awful, awful. They now have 12 power play goals this season. Another thing about their power play that I mean, it's not, like, the best, but maybe if they continue to improve a little bit with their power play, then they can bump up there again. I mean, obviously, it's not good being 32nd in the NHL, but that's why head coach of the Blues, Drew Bannister, did say that he did change the power play units. He also made the power play more aggressive, especially by the net, so the Blues would be a more offensively dominant power play unit instead of just being in that neutral zone in their defensive zone because they could not for the life of them create any offense. So I like that Banny was able to do that and create some life out of them. I think when it comes to statistics, though, it's interesting because the Blues really are not leading in any statistics. You take a look around the league, you look at all the stats, and you see the same old. You see a lot of Rangers. You just don't see a lot of Blues. But if you wanna go to the penalty kill, I mean, okay. we are still really not doing well in the PK. We're kind of like the bottom middle, but we have a penalty kill percentage of a 78.43. So it's better. I mean, San Jose is like dead last. They actually just snapped out their 12-game losing streak tonight. But yeah, our penalty kill isn't great, but at the same time, I'm looking just for something that could be a little bit better when it comes to really just anything. Like, even when it comes to scoring, we're kind of like last in the NHL. So, yeah, there's really not that much that's positive when it comes to us as a team as a whole. Um, I don't. Okay, here's another thing. And I guess this is something that kind of bothers me a little bit is that we don't have like awful players on our team. We do have a lot of positive, but right now, like when it comes to players and their scoring, Robert Thomas is the only blue that is even on the statistics because he has 39 points. So I told you it's always Robert Thomas. I mean, not 39 points. Oh my gosh. Why can't I ever read? He played 39 games, 16 goals. I don't know how to do reading. I'm so sorry. I have all these stats and I wanted to read them all out loud to you. Obviously, that's going great. But at least that's something. Other than that, nobody else has really been making their mark. Kyrou's definitely very and he had a great game tonight, so I'm not gonna be, "Oh, no, what are we gonna do?" But at the same time, um, you just hope for a little bit more, I guess. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and this team is definitely playing better. Joel Hofer, with his shutouts this season, has made some stats. But yeah, we haven't really been making stats whatsoever. But yeah. Um, Okay, I'm gonna read some comments here. Blondie Girl says, I feel a lot better about the game. Much needed 2 points. Great team effort. Absolutely. It was a huge 2 points, by the way. And besides the team effort, they just looked good on the ice. It was a smooth game. First period, a little bit rough, but other than that, they had a really good defensively strong game. The one thing about the Rangers power play that I think the Blues should take notes of is they're really good at creating space and generating the puck by the net. So if the Blues just do that, I know that when the Rangers were on the power play, the Blues were playing more man-to-man coverage. So just want to see some more of that going on. Darkness says, "What's scary is that Kyrou hasn't even been that good, and his numbers are still pretty solid." Yeah, I mean his numbers are still solid, but still, I want to see more out of him. Absolutely. Rob says, "I don't care what anybody says. This whole booing thing got Kyrou going. It did in a way." Chan says, "Got to see the hat trick live. My first hattie. Always cool whenever you get to see a hat trick live. Right now, I have on a hat trick, a hat trick, and I could always throw it and be like, "Oh, I participated." I'm at Enterprise, obviously, right now with my virtual background, but it was a really good game. Happy for the Blues, but most importantly, I'm happy for Jordan Kyrou as he definitely played a hard, tough game. All right, that will do it for the post-game show, breaking down everything that happened in this Blues and Rangers game. Coming up tomorrow, it will be an Are We Feeling Blue Friday. We're going to discuss everything that went down this week and the upcoming week. So I will talk to you tomorrow. And like always, St. Louis, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Helps out quite a bit. Yeah, we're going to be doing a giveaway when we hit 1,000 subscribers. So make sure to subscribe. If you have a Make a Burner account, I don't know, just subscribe. And I will talk to you tomorrow. And like always, let's go Blues. 5-2 win over the Rangers. Let's go Blues.